Hey guys, this is Dallas from All My Favorite Things from the Screen with the breakdown of the second trailer for Season 2 of Hulu's Only Murder in the Building. Now, sorry if the audio gets a little wonky here. I had to record this twice. I had a couple issues and I'm splicing the audio together. So hopefully it's not too unbearable, but enough of that. We got some characters that are returning from Season 1, some new characters verified, and lots of clues to go over. Also, a few of my theories might be coming true. We are far from knowing for sure what's going on, but let's take a look. Now, before we do, I have to say possible spoilers in case anything I say might come true, and I think some of it might. But let's get into it. We start with the interrogation of our podcasters by Detective Krebs, played by Michael Rappaport. Detective Williams is here also. Now, we know from Season 1 that she is very much on our podcaster's side. Interestingly, there's a flyer on the wall above Detective Krebs that says the word corruption in big bold letters. Now, I think this may be a hint that Detective Krebs is corrupt. We have seen some instances of possible police corruption already, with the failure to have Tim Kono's toxicity report done and failing to submit Kono's phone for cellular exploitation. Crooked cops are not a new idea whatsoever, especially in New York City. So I'm thinking that Detective Krebs might try and do something to get our friends to admit to something they didn't do, and it's going to turn into one of those good cop, bad cop ideas. And that's where we see them leave the courthouse, an extended version of the scene from the first trailer. We can see clearly that Mabel is indeed carrying out the bloodstained clothes from the night of Bunny's murder. And this is where Oliver will make his speech that we heard in the first trailer. Them all being threatened not to speak, and they're not going to take it. We're not going to take it. But I think it's funny that Charles and Mabel are wanting to get out of the spotlight at this moment, but in true Oliver fashion, he is eating up the limelight. We are followed by our podcasters walking to the wake of Bunny Folger. I'd figured this out last trailer, but we didn't get any dialogue from anyone that was there, but we did this time. And this is what we're seeing. Uma, being the brash New York woman she is, openly calls the podcasters murderers, which is a bold statement, and next to her is the Arconian's building manager, Ursula, who seems to side with Uma in her thinking that Mabel, Charles, and Oliver may be guilty. This just shows that these guys will be fighting pretty tough odds to gain trust and respect from the people inside of the building and likely outside of the building. And even though they are back in the building, they are still seen as the enemy. I've looked back at everyone else in the scene, and no one else looks 100%. This might be Howard in the background. He's got a similar build in the glasses, but I'm not exactly sure because the clothing style looks a little too modern for him. Next, they talk outside of the Arconia, and Mabel asks Oliver if he still has the boom mic, and this is where they decide 100% they're going to get back into the podcast game to find Bunny's murderer in order to clear their names, hence, super meta way of saying Only Murders in the Building Season 2. The scene of Mabel knitting is very interesting to me because, like I originally thought, I still questioned it originally, but I thought that this was a murder weapon, but it clearly is not, and I'll explain what happened in a little bit. Now, this next set of frames, along with the dialogue, seems to try and paint a picture, but I believe it's a little misleading. Mabel says that evidence keeps showing up in their apartments. Some of this is misleading because not all of these frames take place in their apartments. Well, actually, all of them takes place in Charles' apartment, except for one that doesn't even take place in the Arconia. The first one we see is the envelope with a large stack of money. And we assume this could be inside one of their apartments, but if you look closely behind the envelope of money, there's a tray, you know, the kind that you put your credit card on or cash in order to make a payment for a meal. This frame, I don't believe, is inside of the Arconia. And I'm going to go even further and say that this person sitting at the table is likely Bunny. Now, I went back and looked at everyone's watch, and the closest one to this I've seen out of anyone is on Bunny's arm. So maybe, like we heard Mabel listening in on her conversation through the vents in Season 1, and then we later saw Bunny going out to get some lunch, this could be someone posturizing or thinking about, or maybe in a flashback of Bunny going out to eat.
We see what looks like Charles handling a watch, and it looks pretty old. Now, I went to Reddit, and thanks to Howryz, Howryz, I can't pronounce his name, we know that this is an Ernest Burrell cocktail watch. Now, these cocktail watches are from the 40s and 50s, and they are the most sought after out of all the Burrell watches. And it's likely because these beautiful watches have a kaleidoscope effect that works off of the second hands movement. Now, I'm not going to lie, I've seen them sold from anywhere from $100 to $2,000. And I'm eyeballing one for about $150, and I might actually get it. We also have no idea if this is actual evidence that's appeared in the apartment or just a gift Charles received from someone, maybe someone in his past. He does have a more modern style, but I don't think Charles is the type of person to wear something this old when it would have some actual value. But who do you guys think this watch belongs to? Did you see it on anyone that I've missed? We then see Charles, Mabel, and Oliver getting into some hijinks, and it seems they're putting up a piece of art in Charles's living room. If you look in the background, you see that there is an empty space, but there was previously a piece of art sitting here, specifically Tracy, a 2013 lithograph by Alex Katz. I said in the last video with Cara Delevingne's character being an art world insider would be interesting if Bunny was big into art like Charles and there were hidden clues inside art, sort of like some Da Vinci Code kind of things. Now, this piece could very well have been stolen from Bunny's apartment and they are attempting to hide it so they could figure out some kind of Da Vinci Code stuff or find some secret clue, but they're unable to put it up because they are startled by someone popping into Charles' apartment unannounced. He's no longer dating Jan. Who could pop into Charles' apartment unannounced? Well, I think I know who it is, and I'm thinking it could be Lucy, who will appear in the trailer later. Ho ho ho, this is where it gets interesting, because now we see a frame of Charles picking up the murder weapon. I apostrofized, I theorized in the first trailer that this frame right here was of Bunny before she was murdered, this person being the murderer holding the knife. So this person, whoever the killer is, Howard, stabs Bunny, and Bunny goes to Mabel's apartment because she lives next door to get her help. She walks in, Mabel thinking it's an intruder, Bunny unable to speak because she's likely stabbed in the lungs. Mabel turns and stabs her with her knitting needle, not knowing who it was. Bunny then collapses on top of her, transferring a large amount of blood. And I mean, come on, there is way too much blood going on here to come from a knitting needle. And the killer will use this information to taunt our podcasters by leaving the weapon in their midst. This is also funny because us fans gave them a hard time how they handled all the evidence. Mabel picked up the knife out of Jan's vent with her bare hands, but they've changed it this time. But now Oliver uses a bag to pick up the bloody knife, and it shows they're getting smarter and becoming better detectives. We get another look at Teddy Demas. He's heading somewhere with some reps and that famous dip of his. Oliver could be apologizing for his podcast accusations, and Teddy could be giving Oliver some dips that he will bring to Bunny's wake. I'm not sure, but either way, I'm here for it. Next we see Jan, and it's great to see her return, and the fact that she is here tells us there's more to her story than we originally thought. It also tells us the team is likely getting closer to who's behind everything here. Now, I'm going to guess that the Only Murders crew will be questioning her from one of two things. Why did she try to insert herself in an investigation that she was the true perpetrator of? And who wrote the note on her door? Charles knows she didn't write the note on her door because it was her handwriting that gave her away as a killer. This is what told him that she wrote the notes in the garbage that Tim Coney was carrying. And I think the trio will also realize that the note left on Oliver's door was not written by her also.
This is the reason for their visit. They know there's someone else at play, and they're trying to get Jan to give this person up.
I have a theory about who threatened Jan. You can watch that video after this, but what's more important, we gotta keep on moving.
Later on, we see our trio talking about not being seen sneaking into other apartments. This frame is familiar because this is in Mabel's bathroom, looking up into the vent that goes directly to Bunny's room. And the next frame introduces a new character that makes me excited. We see a young girl sliding a hidden door, showing a secret path between apartments. And this is a game changer. There's a lot we can get out of this, but first, who is this? And though it's not confirmed, I feel confident that we are looking at actress Zoe Colletti, who will be portraying Lucy, the daughter of Charles's ex-girlfriend, the one he thought of like a daughter. Now, Lucy lived with Charles for a few years when she was an even smaller kid, and she may have found these hidden passageways and just not said anything to her mother or Charles about them. The idea of hidden passageways calls back to season 1 where Dr. Grover Stanley said he heard someone above him. This could very well be someone traveling inside of these pathways, moving illegal merchandise and money without being seen publicly. A couple more quick things about this scene. This is not Mabel's bathroom. The quick cuts make it seem as if it might be, but Mabel's bathroom has pink tiles across the walls. This one does not, though it does seem to be a woman's restroom. I'm guessing that they are inside Bunny's apartment, and Lucy knows that there's a hidden door because she's gone through it before when she stayed here with Charles.
Lastly, the bigger implications. Arconian Crime Syndicate confirmed. Finally. Yes, I knew I was right. I knew it. Just kidding.
This does make my organized crime ideas jump out to the max. We've got corrupt police, stealing paintings, jewelry theft under the guise of a legitimate business. This is no small time thing, and it's not recent. This could have been built into the Arconia. Hidden passageways have been a part of this infrastructure possibly since its conception. Who knows, this building could have been built as a front for various money laundering and illegal dealings that's been going on for longer than we know. And this brings me back to Oscar's father, the Arconian superintendent, who we have theorized that he would have to know about the secret room and the Demas apartment. He would have had to approve the building of the secret room and the Demas apartment, but there is no way that he is not aware of these secret passageways in the building. He is the building superintendent. Now, I don't think he's the killer, but I think he knows what's going on and wanted Oscar to stay away from Mabel because he didn't want his son involved with people poking their nose around in shady businesses, even if they don't know that's what they're doing.
Those were all the clues I was able to find. It was a bit, but did I miss anything? Who are you most excited to see? Share your ideas down in the comments. Let's have a little chitty chat down there. Either way, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys next time. Like and subscribe for more videos on Hulu's Murders Only in the building. Blah, blah, blah. I can't remember what I'm supposed to say because I don't have the script pulled up. I'll see you guys on the rooftop.